Good afternoon, Stanley High School. Welcome to SOAR Time Meetings. It is Friday morning, and I am recording during our Music Friday period break, transition time. I'm recording early because I will be at a school counseling conference in Bismarck on Monday and Tuesday. So I wanted to get this video out to teachers so that they have it. Today is just an extension of Mrs. Essler's SOAR Time meeting last week about the warrior movement. I thought that Miss Essler did a wonderful job, and I am so glad that she chose this topic because it's something that she cares about and is passionate about when it comes to each of you. Today, we take our answers that we reflected on last week, and we are going to work together in groups of 4, okay? So within each advisory group, you will be getting into groups of 4, and we'll be taking these answers. So yes, I also filled one out. So we'll be taking these answers, and we will be making them into a poster. Eventually, those posters will be shared with other students, and then they will go on a wall called the Warrior Movement Wall. Okay, so that's kind of our plan for today and for next week. When you get into groups, I have given your teachers first cooperative role cards that you will use, and so one of you will be the leader and presenter when it's time to present. So you will have that job, leader/presenter, and it tells what the leader does, making sure that everyone's voices are heard, not just 1 or 2 people in your group, focusing on the task at hand, and then you also will be presenting finished work to another group of students, so asking questions like, well, how do you guys want this to sound? The next person will be the recorder. This is the person who takes ideas and puts them on a poster. You write, so you need somebody probably who has neat penmanship, things like that. They are going to be the ones that are writing on the poster for the other students to see and for it to be hung up on the wall. We also will have a timekeeper. That person is the person who encourages the group to stay on task. I know that sometimes it's easy to get off on side conversations. Guilty of that in groups. So this person keeps you on track. This person announces when we're halfway through our time and when we have like 5 minutes left and we need to hurry up. So that's a timekeeper. And then we have the errand monitor. This person quickly gets whatever supplies that you may need for your group. They are the ones that maybe request, can I go get this from my locker or whatever you need. So they are the ones who are in charge of getting supplies. Now, if that person has to leave the room, it's only that person that leaves the room. They don't take a friend from your group. The rest of the group continues to work while that person gets your supplies. So your teacher will give you these cards to figure out who does what in your group. The next part is I do have sentence structures that your teachers are going to have hung up in their room for you. I want this to be meaningful conversation, not surface level conversation. It's not a time to be silly. It's not a time to be acting in a manner that makes this subject light and less than what it is. And so I put these ideas up for you. One of the things that you can say is, you know, I'd like to add this. I noticed this. Here's another example. Do you think we could also add this in? Can you explain a little bit what you mean about this comment, or can you tell me more? I agree with you because of this, or I disagree with you because of that. You do get to disagree with one another. You don't get to fight about it. You don't get to say hurtful things to one another when you disagree, but it's okay to disagree and just end with that. You know what? We're going to have to just agree to disagree. That's a part of being a human being, is that we're not always going to agree and think the same way. So these are meaningful conversations. If you feel like you're getting into that area where you might be disagreeing and you need to justify or explain your thoughts, these are some other things that I have up, you know, like because, or for instance, or for example, or I think this because I've read something that says da 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 da. So kind of backing up your thoughts if you need to. Okay, so those are just a few beginning things. Once you get into your groups, you will be having group assignments and you will have meaningful conversations. So here's what you're going to do. In your groups, you're going to get your papers, and then as a group, you are going to put a poster together on paper that your teacher has brought in, okay? On this group poster, you are going to take each question that you answered and put like the things that you guys put on your papers, you're going to put that information onto your poster. Now, my ideas, I did reword a little bit different on my poster, and that's okay. So you can take ideas and reword them. You don't have to put it word for word on what you put last week, okay? So I'm going to show you my example of my poster and go over it with you, and then Mrs. Essler is going to send out a picture of hers. We have not seen how each other did their posters, because we wanted to show you that there's not one right way to make this poster. It's up to you and your group, and you can be as creative as you want. There's not a right way. So I'm thinking that Mrs. Essler's poster is going to look a little bit different than mine, right? And that is absolutely okay. Both of them are right, okay? So here is mine. I'll sit back. So I started in the middle. I have SHS Warrior Movement, and I kind of added little things like you are a warrior, because I believe that each of you are a warrior in this school. And I put over here, be the movement, because I believe that each of you are capable of being the movement, and I believe that it starts with you, right? Then I started out with my first box. And I put words I will say, because the question was, what would you tell a friend, right? And so what I chose to do is I chose to write you guys, all of you in this school, a letter. And my letter says this: Dear loved one, I hear you say that you want to die. I'm going to probably cry a little bit because I know that you're out there feeling this way. So, I hear you say you want to die, and it makes me so sad that you are unable to see you through my eyes. I love you, and I care about you, and I believe that there is a plan for you on this earth. Please be here tomorrow. Be here the next day. And the next day, and the next day. Love, your school counselor. My next box is in the green, and it says, who can make the difference? With you in the middle. And then I wrote, I have watched our young people make a difference. I see you standing up for each other in the hallways and on social media. I see you standing up for those who need you. I see you being there for your friends. I see you reaching out for help when your friend is hurting. I see you. You are the future. Your voices matter. Lift each other up. Build each other up. You are a warrior. My next part is to tell me why. Why do I think that people think about suicide? And I put them in quotations, words that I feel like I've heard not just from students, but from adults. I feel so alone. I'm so tired. I'm tired of it all. I hear this voice telling me it would be easier and better for everyone. And it's just so hard. And I wrote what I want them to hear. Please hear me saying, you are loved. I hear your pain and I care for you. The next part is, what do I do with pressure? And I wrote the words, under pressure, what I do. And I listed all of the things that I find myself doing, because I said before, especially during this time in winter, I suffer from seasonal affective depression, and so I have to be proactive, especially when this time comes around, and these are all of the things that I know that I have to do. I talk to people I trust, and I don't mean over Snapchat or texting. It's face to face. That's important. Face to face conversation. I run or I work out. I pray or meditate. I journal. I begin each day writing in a gratitude journal. I help and serve others. I try to eat healthy. I read a book. I use only positive self-talk. I encourage others. I go to school events. I try to get outside. I get off of my social media. These are all things that I try to do to keep myself mentally healthy. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to get into groups and to make a warrior movement poster. Please think outside the box. Please be creative. And please be empowered to step up and be a part of this movement. Have a wonderful day.